Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I'm really pleased today to do another one of our Meet Our Member series, introducing MicroTouch, who is a global industry partner member of the IFBTA. And with me today is John Dittig, who is the Vice President of Business Development for MicroTouch. So welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you having me.
The conversation AI always comes up.
Yeah.
Now, I will tell you that as much
Did
as
you buy NVIDIA, by the way?
No. But I will say to you that the more it comes up, it usually comes up as a negative factor in our industry when they're talking about applications and how it is. Almost every conversation I have is about this. Sure. However, I learned something different at CES this year when I was looking at monitors. And I was taking a look at the monitors and how AI is actually being built into the monitors. And I'm thinking to myself, and why do I need AI like in a monitor, right? So where do you see AI going generally in the industry, and where do you see it going specifically in the types of monitors and screens and things that you're selling?
So everything is getting quicker, faster, better, more cost efficient. And a lot of it has to do with the chips that actually go into the devices. We use MediaTek, best AI chips out there from an Android platform. And the other thing is the software that runs on those chips. So the biggest area with AI in food and beverage that we're seeing is loyalty. And what I mean by loyalty is the platform that you run on for your rewards program, because these restaurants want to get you to buy more, advertise to you as much as possible. And when they have new products, like if you go from a chicken sandwich to a spicy chicken sandwich, knowing your customer base, so the next time they come through drive-through or inside, they tap the rewards program and said, oh, by the way, we noticed last time you had a chicken sandwich. Would you like to try the new one? Because that knowledge is so powerful to advertise to their base. And having the AI platform on the software makes that business know a lot more about the customer.
But why do I need that chip in a MicroTouch, monitor or terminal? Is it because you're running the whole complete piece in the terminal?
Yeah, absolutely. The software in our ISVs that have the software, it makes the experience, everything quicker, faster, better. And there's a lot of people out there, whether it's a large chain or an SMB, that are going to benefit long term. And then it also ties in the entire solution together. So you go from point of sale, kiosk, menu board, drive-through, and tying that whole subset together.
So what you're doing is you're enabling and providing the computing power to handle this within the MicroTouch terminals, so that those who are putting the software on that need that power, it's sitting there.
Yes.
Are there also applications in AI that you would put into the terminals as well? And I'll tell you, what I think about is I was sort of surprised to see some of the television monitors from a previous group that you work with, but actually having built into them sign language and other things like that are coming not with what's running on the television or on the monitor, but actually part of the monitor itself doing part of the work and bringing some technology forward. And I could see that in your language and your senior citizen example as well.
So a lot of it is you'll see a camera in some cases. Because if you are a C-store or if you're a food and beverage account, you could have it on the outside on a window. You want to try to capture more of an audience. And you have 100 people walking by per day, but only 10 are coming in. That shows you have a problem. So having some type of AI information from a software platform reporting back to you, so maybe you advertise to them better to try to attract them more to come in. So there's a lot of software and CMS packages out there that will tell you, to give you heat mapping, how many people walk by, and then not only that, but you look at your daily point of sale, how many sandwiches did you order from a chicken, how many hamburgers. So that information coming in is going to help you from an inventory streamline perspective as well. And so having those software platforms, no AI chips, makes everything more efficient. It makes you know more better about your business and also your customers.
Are you going to put your monitors, or you're going to tell me you're already doing this, but are you going to put your monitors on mobile devices, not cars? By the way, I completely get that one, because the user experience in a car, if they're going to start doing ordering from the car, which is coming out, right? So to me, it's like no
Yeah.
different. You got to have that user experience in the touchscreen. But what I did see at NRF Asia in Singapore last month, which, by the way, you guys were there.
Yeah.
I did a
great-
selfie
great
in front of your
city.
booth. Okay. And it's a huge tech hub. What I did see is newer form factor mobile devices for security guards. I'll call them mobile security guards with screens on them, right? But at the same time, they were showing them moving around stores and also looking at what's on the shelves and the customer flow, which is, to your point, when you have a stand and it's singular place.
Right.
But are you guys doing anything on the mobile side of that?
We don't have anything mobile in terms of phone or tablet. However,
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the screen actually being on something
Yes.
on wheels that moves around,
Yeah.
because you just said you had the camera, you got the device, but
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do that, but our devices have to be plugged in, or it can be PoE, right? But the
Right.
software that runs on that can easily be put on one
I
of
see
our
that as a
machines.
minor problem, because the PoE, but actually what I've seen now, both at NRF, CES, for the last 4 to 5 years, is actually power coming from the ceiling.
Right.
Wireless power. Now, probably not enough yet for your device, but it's going to get there.
Right.
As long as we don't worry about wearing tinfoil on our heads and
Sure.
trying to keep
And
keep
we're
out of it or
PoE
something.
plus on our Mach series,
get that.
which makes it a little better.
Okay, so I want to just come back to one thing in a consultative role, because you know the industry and you are showing up where the operators, the retailers are, because you've mentioned C stores and we know about NRF, NRA. So you're showing up at these places, you're having those conversations, and they're letting you know what they want to put together. So if I sit there and I say, like, I wouldn't have thought about the fact that there's a kiosk sitting there that we're going to go ahead and measure traffic on it, maybe sentiment, by the way, because I got a camera on there, right?
Sure.
So the heat mapping that you were talking about, I might not be thinking about, how to attract them in. And the screens are going to show up sooner or later, if they're not already doing it, on vending machines.
Yeah.
Right? So they're going to be out there anyway.
And they're there. I mean, look at Coke and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're there. So do you actually, in a consultative role, say to the operator end user, let me help you bring together multiple partners,
Yeah.
that can fulfill what it is you're looking for? Because they may not know.
Yeah, absolutely. So every end user is going to have a different solution in mind. And we listen to them and what's best for them, but we can bring in the best breed, whether it's software, hardware, to make their solution work in their environment. If we can't do it with the MicroTouch branded, and if they want to go the OEM route, we can talk to them, like you mentioned, the vending machines, right?
Sure.
Which is cup dispensing machines, and a lot of things are becoming smarter. So yeah, I mean, we customize a solution specifically for each end user so that out-of-the-box experience is seamless and perfect for them.
Well, yeah. So that's also, by the way, where your years of working with different end users, quite frankly, in different industries as well, because you're
yes.
cross-industry, right?
Yeah.
You're not just food service, right?
Government, education, you name it, sports, entertainment.
So is there something to be learned from those industries that the food service hospitality industry should be thinking about in the future, because you're seeing it in some of the other places of the world or some of the other industries that you work in that you think that we should be thinking forward with?
Yeah, I think the food and beverage industry in the retail industry is so hyper competitive that they have to stay on the cutting edge technology. They have to. I think some of the like maybe education and government, healthcare, probably a little bit behind because of all the compliances you have to deal
I
with.
usually think of them as being ahead, at least doing the research and how they're using things.
Well, yeah, but there's HIPAA compliancy. There's a lot of things, and
Right.
And if you look at from a surgery standpoint, absolutely right. But if you look at like medical records and nurses' stations and carts, a lot of that technology hasn't changed over the past so many years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the food and beverage and the retail space, they're all competing for the same dollar, so they have to spend more. And on the retail side, a lot of retailers are trying to differentiate themselves from Amazon and a lot of the internet sites. They're spending more money on technology to get people in the store.
But I think that your example of why healthcare education might be different because of governmental regulation. I've had a lot of conversations with people because of AI and generative AI and some of the possible uses of it in the future that are getting people worried. they're just waiting for regulation to come down on that. So your loyalty systems and the other thing, you're reading somebody's face and all the other things you might be doing that we've talked about using AI on a terminal that MicroTouch is providing with a camera on it, may become a reality that we, in fact, can learn from them.
For sure.
On how they get around that, right?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of regulation in the next 5 years, and this industry is going to move so fast. Like, think about it. The smartphones came out in 2007. Think about how far we've come in 17 years since then, right? These next 5 years are going to be light speed to what we've seen over the last 17 years.
And so I want to thank John Dittig, the Vice President of Business Development for MicroTouch, our global industry partner member, for joining us today and being part of the IFBTA and supporting the industry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ron.